Welcome to Pranayama, class number 12 of the spring series. We are working on slowing our exhales and engaging the parasympathetic system with using primarily the exhale. Remember, inhale is more of a sympathetic stimulant. Exhale is a parasympathetic stimulant. And so it's almost like a set of scales. If you put more breath on the parasympathetic side, it's going to have more weight in the nervous system. That's the simplest way to explain how these kind of pranayama work. So today we're going to combine a couple of practices that you've learned so far. We're going to build the exhale using Nadi Shodhana, and we're going to particularly notice how you feel in the pauses. Notice when the impulse to breathe comes. You particularly don't want to clamp down at the end of inhale with your glottis. Now, I know you might not even know where your glottis is, but it is the little flap that keeps you from inhaling your food and keeps you from taking air into your stomach when you breathe. Because to a certain point, you're sharing the trachea between breathing and eating. Part of the digestive tract, part of the respiratory tract for a short time. And right at the juncture where the esophagus and trachea break off, or the bronchial tree and the esophagus diverge, is a glottis, which is a little flap. And you can hear it, particularly most yoga teachers or people who've been in a lot of yoga classes that teach pranayama. It's almost like a clicking or a thumping sound that people who are straining to make a breath ratio will clamp down on their glottis. And that's why I emphasize that roller coaster effect, where at the end of inhale, you're just suspended in a slight pause for a blink. At the end of exhale, you're just suspended. In other words, you can hold the inhale comfortably without gripping with your throat. That's important. You don't want to increase tension in the throat while you're doing pranayama work, except with ujjayi breath, but that's a different thing. That's not using the glottis. That's using a higher spot in the throat. So let's begin as we always do. Let's find a good seat. You can sit on the front of the chair with your whole torso free. Your breath will move more freely. You're sitting on your sits bones, your knees and feet are hip width apart, and your knees are over your heels. You can also lean back, or you can lie down. I apologize to those of you who've been with me and follow every single one in order. That's the way to do it, but I repeat these directions each time just so everybody can be safe, because someone might pop in for just one audio, and I want them to be safe too. So take a long, gentle inhale that makes you taller. And on exhale, close eyes or just let them be slits so you can see your lap, whichever is most comfortable for you. Bring your attention to the breath in your nose. Throat. Chest. Belly. And diaphragm between your breastbone and your navel. Feel it move down on inhale and up on exhale. Watch your whole torso breathe for 1 or 2 breaths. Count your next inhale. Extend your exhale by 1 count. If it's comfortable, extend your inhale. And extend your exhale. Once your inhale is at 5, pause there. Remember, if your inhale is a 3 or a 4, doesn't have to be a 5, respect your body and use the breath practice that works best for you. We're going to use Nadi Shodhana to notice the pauses. Nadi Shodhana is also a good place to extend the exhale. So if you've got yourself at a 3, 4, or 5, and your exhale so far is a 5 or 6 or not a 10, you can use Nadi Shodhana to extend. Just let each exhale be a little longer. Your goal is to be double your inhale. So if you're a 3, go to 6. If you're a 4, go to 8. If you're a 5, go to 10. I know that's pretty simple, but people interpret directions many different ways, and I want you to be safe. So we're using Nadi Shodhana. Turn your palm up. Bring your first 3 fingers to the base of your thumb. Little finger and thumb will stick out. Your thumb sits on the outside of your right nostril. Your little finger sits on the outside of your left nostril. So, if you can do that comfortably, do that. If you can't, you can put 3 fingers, those first 3 fingers, between your eyebrows, and then put your thumb on your outside of your right nostril and your little finger on the outside of your left, whichever is most comfortable for you. So, we are going to do this practice a little bit like we did circular breathing last time. I want you to set a timer for 20 minutes. Whether or not you last 20 minutes is up to your body. Lasting after you're the least bit irritable is not going to give you the effects. So when you begin to sense some irritability, please stop and just notice how you feel. Take a couple of nice long breaths. Watch your diaphragm go up and down, and the irritability will dissipate. But set it for 20 in case the sympathetic state just sort of takes you outside of time awareness, because I don't want the practice to last longer than the time that you've allotted for it today. Self-care is a timely endeavor, time-hungry endeavor sometimes. So we're going to begin. I'll talk you through one round, and then you'll start your timer for 20 minutes. So press down with the thumb and inhale left. Close both and notice. And then open the right nostril and exhale. Notice. Then inhale. Close off the right nostril and notice. And then exhale left. So before you set your timer, if closing off both nostrils makes you feel at all claustrophobic, you can do it another way, and I'll describe that way now. Same hand position, holding the nostrils the same way. Inhale left. Switch, notice, and exhale. Notice the pause and inhale. Switch, notice, and exhale. So, set your timer for 20 minutes. Do the practice only as long as you are comfortable, and then notice how you feel and get back to me. So pause the audio now. The reason why I've chosen 20 minutes is because in most of the neuroscience studies of breath, most of them use a duration of 20 minutes. I think that in my experience, that's what I've been doing for the past 3 or 4 years, is doing 20 minutes of pranayama with my practice in the morning. And it's a really interesting experience to continue for that long. We're used to doing 10 or 12. That's what most practices encompass. But Krishnamacharya taught that when you're teaching little children, they get, say that you have a chunk of time, 7 parts of that chunk of time, 7 portions are asana, 4 portions are pranayama, and 1 portion is meditation. Because little people need a whole lot of preparation to be able to meditate. For householders, which for the Indian system, the yogic philosophy is pretty much maybe age 25 to about 65, 60. It's usually when you have children in the house, because in a traditional culture, that's what a householder does. They take care of children, they support children and a family. And for the middle, let's just call it the middle age of the human lifespan, that one is 4, 7, and 1. And they changed it because amidst a busy householder life, you can stop and do pranayama. You're sitting in the car waiting to pick up a child, you can do pranayama. If you're, have a moment before you go to sleep, you can do it lying in your bed. I do want to stress, though, that doing pranayama without any asana is not going to be as effective. You're just going to struggle a little more to get to the parasympathetic state, but it can be done that way. And then the last stage group has a ratio of 1, 4, and 7, because in terms of the whole hormone dimension and changes that come with age, asana, they're not doing small bits of asana because they're weak. 1 portion of asana is enough to prepare for a pranayama that takes 4 portions, only 4 portions, to prepare you for a 7-portion meditation. It's important to notice at this point that Patanjali's system is not designed to achieve a yoga butt. It's designed to achieve meditation, or the meditative state. So while yoga is excellent exercise for folks who aren't so very strong or flexible, it's very good, asana is, to prepare. It's not your exercise. You still need to go out and take a walk for 30 minutes a day if you're in that last age group. You need to do some extra exercise. Yoga is your nervous system practice, essentially, but it makes everything else easier. So, thank you for joining me today for pranayama. I hope that you will go on next to meditation number 12. Thank you.